Welcome to Native Yoga Toddcast. So happy you are here. My goal with this channel is to bring inspirational speakers to the mic in the field of yoga, massage, bodywork, and beyond. Follow us at Native Yoga and check us out at nativeyogacenter.com. All right, let's begin. Hello and welcome to Native Yoga Toddcast. My name is Todd McLaughlin. It's so nice to have you here. I appreciate you tuning in to listen today to my special guest, Gerson Frau, who is located down in Puerto Escondido, Mexico. And his website is gersonfrau.com, spelled GERSONFRAU. And I have the links in the description wherever you're listening. It'll make it easy. You can click and follow him, and you'll find his Instagram handle is the same if you like to follow over there. For those of you that are listening and would like to see Gerson in person, go to our YouTube channel, Native Yoga Center. And if you get a chance to send us a comment, a message, send him a message, an email, or reach out to us via any of the platforms. We really appreciate hearing your feedback and what you think about this conversation. Today we had a shorter amount of time to converse, but I feel like I got the chance to feel the essence of what Gerson's message is, and his passion for the yoga, his passion for community, reaching out to others and creating an environment where we can listen and share and be helpful to one another. So with that being said, let's go ahead and begin. Today, my special guest is Gerson Frau. How are you feeling today, Gerson?
I'm good.
Thank you.
I just started class, and then I have a little things to do, and I'm about to leave to a little town nearby, so it feels good.
Amazing. Can you tell me where you're located?
I am located right now in Mexico, southwest coast. It's a little town called Puerto Escondido.
Oh, I didn't know you were in Puerto Escondido.
Yes, I am.
Wow. Man, I was just watching YouTube videos of Nathan Florence charging huge Mexican pipe, and it just looks unbelievable. I mean, so heavy and so consequential. Do you get out in the water there?
I do,
Whoa.
but not at that size. Not at that size that you saw Nathan. It was a big swell a couple of weeks back. But yes, I do. That's why I moved to here years back. I've been coming to this place over 20 years.
Wow.
But now we have been living here for the last 7 years almost now.
Oh, man, I want to come visit you. I've always wanted to go to Puerto Escondido.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
We're about to finish a house.
Wow.
After 3 years of construction and challenging and everything else, we are about to get it done. And I couldn't go visit Dharma for the past years because of that. I've been thinking about when I go to him as a Dharma. It's been tough to me, with the construction. He's going to say, "What did you get yourself into it? Trouble." You should live like a yogi, very simple. Probably. I say, yes, you're right.
I hear you. How do we get ourselves into the things we're in? But I think you're a family man. So that's how, because you want to be there for your family.
Yes, it's true. Yes.
Where is do you mind me asking where your wife is from?
Yeah, she's from Brazil as well. My daughter was born in Brazil.
Nice.
And now my wife is from Brazil. So we all live here in Mexico and Puerto Escondido. And then, it's a good place. A lot of foreigners living here. It's developing since the first time I got here was 23 years ago.
Yeah.
And been changed since then.
Yeah.
Big change, but it's still good. So, for now. And also it's like halfway to New York City. So now that the house is done, almost done, I want to go visit Dharma more often. I used to go at least twice a year from Mexico, even from Brazil. And now it's been a couple of years since I haven't gone back. But I take class with him ever why I can with the online. He's so adapted, he's so updated, so yes.
Yes, yes. That's cool, man. I hear you. Well, I'm super curious. In terms of, you said you taught a class today. Are you teaching at a yoga studio? What is the
No,
teaching environment like for you?
no. I teach online 3 times a week, Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, 8:30 Mexico City time, 8:30 a.m. And also I travel a lot for workshops and retreats here in Mexico and sometimes in Brazil, sometimes in the US. And also we have a program, my partner and I, my yogic partner in Mexico City, we have a teacher training program after, a couple of years. Maybe, yeah, some years I was working with Dharma, and then, for some reason, papers and visa and, social security number, I couldn't work with him anymore. And then, well, with the group, right? With the Dharma Yoga Center, Life of Yoga teacher training.
Ah,
And then, I thought maybe it's time for me now to do, what people have been offering me to. And then I I didn't feel that it was right because I was working with Dharma back then. But then, first time I got the news, I was like, oh, I'm gonna talk to Dharma about it, you know. And then somehow I said, what Dharma would say, don't worry about it, you can come here. So what you're concerned, things change. And then it was time to move on. And then I didn't have that conversation with Dharma. That was my meditation, right? That I feel that I was connected with him. So yeah, so I said, okay, you have to accept that, change, and now maybe it's the time to do your thing, and you know, and then I said, no, but I have to talk to Dharma before, ask him his blessings and his permission, which I did, and then he gave me everything, and then we started this program. My friend in Mexico City, which is also a student of Dharma, Adriana, and then we started writing the manual slowly. And, after a year writing, working on the program, it's, we created the, you can call it created the Sadaka training program, which is the teacher training, which pretty much, honestly, Todd, since you're a student of Dharma, and I say that to everyone, it's Dharma yoga because I can't do anything else but that. I've been doing that for almost 20 years. So wouldn't be fair, I think, to make something up, right? Just to call it Gerson yoga, whatever, it's everything I learned was from him. And I'm so devoted. So I feel so blessed and honored, humble to have received that and keep receiving all these teachings from him all over these years, even though I'm not going to New York, like through meditation, through daily practice, through selfless work, whatever you can call, but you can keep receiving that if you're open to this transmission that he's so open, he's so giving, right? Generous and loving. And then, it's been good pathway, good journey that we have been doing. Adriana, she's also great. She's very structured, and she knows how to put things together. I am not that good. I am kind of similar to the teacher. I'm more spontaneous. I don't prepare class much. I like to be, like in a sattvic mood if I can. So then teachings by themselves, they just express, and then those are the best sharing that we can do, right? Without putting too much our own stuff into it.
good point.
And so it was a good match, and it's been good. So since I travel a lot for that program because it's in Mexico City, and also I travel a lot for workshops and retreats, and also the online classes that I like to be exclusive online, giving students live streaming like 100% of my attention. So then if I set up a 2 3 time program here in Puerto Escondido, will be too much. Sometimes I just come traveling and then I'm just burnt physically. But then
Understood.
I have a class on Monday morning and I had a long weekend, and then I don't I don't like canceling classes
I
at
understand.
all. So I
Yeah,
just do it.
yeah.
You know?
Do you think Puerto Escondido could handle a full-time yoga studio? Do you think
Yeah,
there?
today, yes. There's a lot of, it's becoming like sort of place like Bali, but in a Mexican way, and surfing, like atmosphere hopefully stays like that. We are trying to get involved with the community when, sometimes Mexican governments don't run in a proper way. So we have to do our own thing and try to protect and try to, like somehow be very aware what's going on, what's happening. And, even myself, I'm dealing with the construction now. I'm concreting some stuff, even some trees I had to take it out, but I planted many trees already, so we are trying to, next week, we're planting about 10 trees again. So, we are trying to do our best for the community here as well. And I'd love to have like a regular, like people come to Puerto to practice with me. But for now, I haven't planned my life exactly the way it is right now. It just happened spontaneously. And then I'm very blessed. I'm very thankful for, what's being given to me through this existence. So I should not change, but I'm open.
That's
Let's
cool,
see.
Gerson. That's so cool. I hear you. A question I had, because you made a mention that when you meditate, you feel like you are able to receive guidance from Dharma, even though afar. Have you ever had experience, or how has yoga and or your meditation practice opened up a portal more or less for you to do that type of communication? How has it assisted or helped that open for you?
Stay with us. We'll be right back.
I really hope that you're enjoying this episode, and I just wanted to take a moment to announce a course that I'm really excited to release. It's a free course, and it's called 8 in 8, Learn 8 Limb Yoga in 8 days. My goal is to help coach you along in the Ashtanga yoga practice in a way where we take just the sun salutations, the fundamental asanas, and the final breathing poses, break it down with some philosophy videos as well, explaining the 8 limbs of Ashtanga yoga in a very easy to use, friendly course that is totally free. Click the link below, check it out. Let me know what you think. All right, let's get back to the episode.
Yeah, I think first of all, you got to be receptive. If I go to your house and I want to connect to your Wi-Fi, I'm going to ask you for the password, for the code, and you give me, then I type the code. So I am asking you, right? I am receptive to that code specifically. So then I can download all the data, check my social media, my emails, whatever. So it's the same thing. Dharma loves to use that technology analogy, right? So I think it's the same thing. So the code is humbleness, it's devotion, it's reverence, it's, asking for guidance. And then somehow, as I said the other, years back, I was first, I got the news, I was like, oh my God, I'm going to write to Adam. No, I'm going to write to Dharma. I said, come down. Don't meditate. What Dharma would say? Oh my goodness. What are you concerned? Just come. I'm like, that's it. So,
Oh my gosh, I hear you.
by devotion, by reverence, by obedience, all that.
Yeah. Yes. And I'm curious, what caused you? I know you traveled to Puerto Escondido, from what you said, a bit before you decided to settle. What was the feeling that helped you decide, let's settle here with the family? Because I know it's a big move to go
Yeah.
international with children and all of that. How did that come to be?
Yes, first, I'd like to mention that I was living in Mexico City. I came to Mexico City in 2003, the first time. I was practicing Ashtanga Vinyasa Yoga. And then I moved to New York, not for yoga, not at work. And then 2007, I met Dharma. And then it was a small group, the 3rd Avenue and 23rd. And then, my life just changed.
Was that a magic moment in time? I don't.
Yeah, amazing. I got goose, look at this. Just
Yeah.
remembering. Yeah, it was a very special moment. And then I knew at that time, I said, we are living a very special moment with this man here. Remember when I first got to New York City, when I got there to him, it was his 68th birthday. I got there in April and May was his birthday. And then I knew that we were living through a very special time because it was a smaller group. He was doing very intense class, master class, 2-hour class, like the crowd, the people would come, I was just fascinated. And then, I was into Ashtanga Vyasa before, which I was very devoted to, but then Dharma, just was a big shift naturally. I didn't even recognize it. It
That's
was good.
cool.
It was
That's cool.
fun. And
Like you weren't searching for, let me find
yeah, I didn't
another
know there
yoga.
was searching.
Yeah, yeah.
But we were all searching for something, right? So when you find guidance, you're like, oh my goodness, geez, man, here on his late 60s, and he's doing this, offering this. Then I took the program, the first 200-hour. After years, they start calling Dharma Mittra yoga. He never liked, and then it was changed to Dharma Yoga. Then I moved back to Mexico City. I remember I asked him, hey, do you know somebody in Mexico City? Because my girlfriend, which was my wife today, wanted to come back. And then he said, no, but there's this guy. I went to the guy, a friend of him, a friend of mine. And then but the guy wasn't really teaching, what Dharma teaches. And then I started teaching myself. I had gone through the first 200-hour. I never had a plan to become a teacher anyway. So I started practicing first. I went to my friend who owns a yoga studio, said, hey, I was with Dharma, and then we want to practice. We went to practice in the middle afternoon. The studio was closed, just both of us, a Ashtangi guy, but very open. And he goes, after we practice, why don't you start a Tuesday class here? Every 6:30 evening. It's like, okay. So that was 2007, actually, by the end of the year. And then, people liked, it was, it eventually, a little by little, it became a good group. But then I moved back to New York, 2008. And then I kept coming back and forth, New York, Mexico City. And then I went 2009 back to New York, 2010, and then on 2009 or 10, I don't remember. I think it was 9. I took the 500-hour. Back then was the advanced teacher training. We didn't have 700 or 1,000 or 800. And then, they are just about to move to the other studio, the new studio, the older one, but, to leave the East 23rd and 3rd Avenue, and then to 23rd and Broadway and 6th. And then we moved to Brazil. My girlfriend and I, she really wanted to go back. I had gone through an accident here surfing. I had a problem with my knee, and then we went to Brazil. Then we decided to stay there. We got married. Then she got pregnant. Then I was coming from Brazil to New York City. I was coming to Mexico. I wasn't able to get a good group of students in Brazil somehow. Yoga was teaching in Sao Paulo, but somehow it wasn't happening. So Mexico, I start coming, and because I want to go to New York and I need some money to leave, I started coming and traveling around the country, just to save and to be able to be close to Dharma. Then start working with the Life of Yogi program. And then that was it. I was traveling for 6 weeks, going to New York and Mexico City, but then based in Brazil with my wife, newly married, right? We were.
Yeah.
And then I was able to travel with Dharmas and retreats in the US and also here in Mexico. And that was very blessing too, to be close, to be to the hotels, rooms, driving in. Or was very, very blessing time for me to be so close to the teacher. And then we have been coming back to Puerto. I said, why don't we move to Mexico?
Yeah.
Because now I can teach here, and then I am close to Dharma. I can go to the Life of Yogi program. I can teach here. I can travel. So, like naturally, like a very spontaneous way. I was doing my thing, of course. I am an active person. I like to do things. And I saw that there was an opportunity, the path was clear. So then I was traveling all over the country, California, Texas as well. I went to a lot of little towns in the border with Mexico and the US.
Nice.
So yeah.
That's cool, man. I love hearing about your journey like that, to hear all the different like angles that you were able to make those turns and then how you end up where you are now. That's pretty cool, man. I'm really curious. Well, you're speaking in incredibly clear, concise English with me. You're from Brazil, so I know you speak Portuguese. You live in Mexico. I'm guessing you must be fluent in Espanol. That's 3 languages. Are there any more in there?
No.
Okay, good. Don't shock me too much.
I used to live in Italy 1999 and 2000, 1 year. And then I learned, because, for us, Latin speakers, Spanish and Italian, I would say it's easier than French, but I used to speak Italian because I lived to 1 year.
Yeah.
When I moved to Mexico, I completely lost it. So
understood. And Gerson, I'm so curious, and I know that this could be a difficult question. What is the overall vibe in Mexico with the Mexican-American relations right now, currently in the world? In the yoga circle, I feel like we all are kind of like connected. And so we don't see borders. You know what I mean? Like, it's one big world and we're all connected. But I'm just curious, what's the overall joke around in Mexico? Is there jokes in Mexico a little bit about us up here in this portion of the continent? Of course. And I know you don't have to say anything that would be incriminating, but I just think it's important to hear what the feeling in Mexico is right now, just with the current state of diplomacy and all that jazz.
Yes, I think there is everything, there is good parts, there is bad parts, and you have to understand that, it's a big shift that is happening, and it's changing Mexican reality in many ways. And for some people, life becomes harder, financially. And, so if you really put yourself in the shoes of Mexican people, and you understand that back then you were living in a little town like Puerto, and then everything was so cheap and accessible for everyone. And now, since many foreigners, I'm not saying only Americans, because many foreigners are come here because of pandemia, because of the big change we're living through. So of course, you start, like, that gives rise to feelings that, sometimes are not very helpful for none of us.
Yeah.
But it is understandable. If you really put yourself in the shoes of native people, and then you think of like the place, their land, and they've been living there for generations, living here for generations, and now they have to move away from the town because they can't afford to pay rent. So if you don't consider that, and of course I understand the same is happening in Mexico City, beautiful city, everything is becoming very accessible for foreigners and everything. But think of, Mexican people were living there back then, and they can just go to, una tiendita, a little store, to buy everything so accessible. Now everything became kind of fancy and expensive, so they just can't, or they have to go to outside of the city, So it's totally, you have to understand that,
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
creates feeling. We are
Yeah.
human beings.
Yeah.
If
Yeah.
you're very honest, you're going to understand that. Then maybe if you are in their shoes, you're going to be acting the same way. But at the same point, Mexican people are so loving and so, open and happy. Well, they have this, I would say happy, but I don't want to sound, exaggerated, this warmth, like they're warm, they're
Yes.
cálido.
Yes.
So then, if you understand, if you respect, if you show them respect and trying to do something, for the community, trying to help, because also it's not our fault that we decided to move to Mexico, right? Of course, I took the decision to move here, but I'm thinking the big move, right? Like
Yeah. Yeah.
maybe, some other countries became, inaccessible to me to live, and then here became accessible. It's a good place. So here I am. So what can I do to help? Instead of, judge or say, why are they thinking, or getting too much involved with the feelings. I say, okay, when you have that feeling, when you receive that from some, you're trying to understand and practice compassion, and then say, oh, I'll be doing the same thing. And then you react in a nice way or helpful way. So that I think we can be responsible. We can cooperate, like as Dharma said, you can find a way how you can cope with this. And this is what I was mentioned, that we are trying to, right? I'm very busy, you say, because we try to schedule this meeting for my life.
Yeah.
But, I gotta find some time to help. We're teaching a class, we're planting trees, and, if there's somebody who needs and you are in a position that you can help, just help. So I think, you can create a little bit of harmony with all this big change that is happening, and then we are not sure how is this going to be, but yes, honestly, it wasn't very helpful for like, of course, economy now. Puerto has become a place where yoga studio can be held, and some other, like little posadas, little hotels or houses for rent or whatever, and people might take an advantage of, even Mexican, of course. But there are many other things that, as I mentioned before. So
Yeah.
you have to try
Yes.
to navigate, try to be, and it's not for others or social media. I try to, just if you have in your heart, you're doing the best you can, you're trying to be helpful. People sense that, people feel it, so then it creates harmony, and then, it's easier, right?
I agree. And thank you so much for being honest. And I think you did an amazing job answering that question. Thank you.
Thank you.
And it's very helpful for me. I feel like one of the things I love about this opportunity to speak with you, where you're living in a different country, and for you to clue me in and our listeners, the listener, to what is happening in your corner of the world, I think is how we can really know what's going on, like the on the ground truth of what's happening and what people are thinking. So I appreciate your honesty there. And Gerson, I know we have a small amount of time today and it's going by so quickly. I know you have plans to travel today. And so in the attempt within this very quick moment to meet you, to wrap this up, any insight into just what you're feeling and thinking, and what you're like, if we go down into your core, is there any sort of feeling, thought, or insight that you'd like to leave us with today?
Yeah, well, I think even for those who practice yoga or for those who don't practice yoga, I think we are just here experience this lifetime. And of course, we have our desires and cravings and, and wants and needs. But we can, if we can lessen a little bit our selfishness, through yama niyama, through, live in harmony with everyone else and trying to be a good person. And then check it out, how it's life when you do that effort, right? We are not saints or gurus or spiritual. We are all spiritual, of course, because we're spirit living through this body, but I don't like to put myself in category. And of course, I really have this reverence for Dharma and devotion for the Guru, but I also see him as a human, as a household, like leading with the yoga studio with his clear mind. And, like as he says himself, like it seems like consciousness expressed through him in a clear way. So then there is less obstruction. Then we fall in love to him or to whoever shows that clarity or that consciousness, that pure consciousness. But I think, we all trying to navigate this lifetime, this illusional world. And so if we have that effort, I think this is the practice that we have to do. I'm not talking about the asanas or, to live in harmony, to find a way as we're talking before, there's this big shift coming or happening here. There's good things about it. There's bad things about it. There is good things for foreigners and bad things for Mexican, good things for Mexican, bad things for foreigners. But how can we cope with that? How can we put our little grain of sand? There's always a way. If, oh no, we might find an excuse. I don't speak the language, or I don't like those people. I don't like them, or I don't like. But okay, try to settle that down a little bit, and like follow your heart. If you can be helpful, if you can cooperate, create harmony, do something. Okay, you want to build a house, work, save money, do your thing, but don't forget, it's not about it all the time. You don't have to be, like 100% of it. We're playing a game. It's almost like that, right?
Yes.
And then it is like, and then, but how can it's all, I always say it's all bar anyways. Like in 70 more years, we're gone. So then, what is the point you're right?
Great point.
That has to be a constant reminder in my head. But, you get to that. Okay, let me find some time I'm running short of money, but I'm going to buy 10 little trees. I'm going to plant it next week. This guy wants to help. So then you check it out. As Dharma said, how do you feel when you do all those things? What is life about, right? So the simple life. So this is what I recommend, trying to find a way how to cope, trying to find a way how to, you don't have to show, or you might even think now, if somebody hears me, oh, maybe he's playing the nice guy. I'm not playing anything. I'm just trying to be honest. And then, I think this is our daily practice actually to help, be useful, be helpful, and just good. Life, it becomes meaningful. Like Dharma says, what is the meaning of life? To experience all this. So you're open to these nice experiences. It's good.
Yes, Gerson. Oh my gosh. Well, thank you so much, man. I'm so glad we got a chance to connect after a couple of attempts, and we pulled it off. And I really wish you and your family the best. I hope to one day make it your way, and I will reach out then. And just thank you so much for doing this with me. And I look forward to continuing our conversation.
Thank you. Hopefully in person next time, or New York City, or here down the coast, getting some waves.
I know. I want to go to Mexico City too. I hear it's incredible.
Yeah,
I hear the food is amazing, and it's so fun.
Yeah, the food, it's safe. You can walk, and if you go in summertime, probably you might get wet because it rains. But if you go like half season, like September, October, November, so beautiful days. And September might be a little bit rainful, but
got it.
It's amazing to walk and go to yoga studios, and a lot of foreigners there. So Mexican culture there. So
yeah.
it's beautiful. I think it's a good match. It's a good combo that there is,
Nice.
right?
Nice.
It has always been very interesting to me, the Mexican culture, but now I think, since it's more open to everyone, see, there's openness too,
Yeah.
right? Because people offering.
Yes.
So you should come.
Thank you. I will. Thanks, Gerson. Have a great day.
Yeah, you have a good weekend, and thank you for inviting me for this. And I'm very, I was like, I don't want to. No, let's do it. So I'm glad it worked, and I hope it might help somebody else. And then we are always here to share what we're living and inspire one another, get inspired. So this is it. Thank you for what you're doing as well and sharing all this. I saw Mark was here. I saw something that I think on Instagram. Oh, nice. Mark was there too.
Mark is so great. That was so awesome, man. I loved meeting him.
Andrew, I think, right? Andrew too.
Thank you, Andrew and Pam. Yes, for introducing us. I know they've been incredible lately. Just here, talk to this person. So it's been so helpful. Yeah. Oh man. Well, I appreciate your generosity, Gerson, and I will. I'll be in touch with you.
Yeah, thank you, and thank you to Dharma as well.
Yes,
giving us the path so that we can walk.
I agree.
Thank you.
Namaste.
Good weekend.
You too.
Bye.
Bye. Native Yoga Toddcast is produced by myself. The theme music is dreamed up by Bryce Allen. If you like this show, let me know. If there's room for improvement, I want to hear that too. We are curious to know what you think and what you want more of, what I can improve. And if you have ideas for future guests or topics, please send us your thoughts to info@Native Yoga Center. You can find us at nativeyogacenter.com. And hey, if you did like this episode, share it with your friends, rate it and review, and join us next time.